Good evening, good evening, good evening. As always, welcome to 2 Minute Warning live on Twitch Sports. This is the high-paced American football podcast in which the time is in short supply, but the opinions certainly are not. And we're fresh off the NFL Draft 2021. I'm Matt. That's Jez up there somewhere. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, apart from the fact that I still can't really... No, it's a bit better. I can lift my arm all the way now, but it still hurts.
Don't stretch too much, right?
No. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I haven't needed to eat much today after the gigantic burger I ate on stream yesterday as part of the relaunch with all the pretty colours and things.
Yeah, that's why I said wow. Yeah, pre-stream guys that are lurking and are in the chat. Jeremy would have heard me say wow. I was just like, "That's cool." Yeah, so I've not seen it until this evening. But yeah, looking fancy, Jez.
Thank you very much. I do make a little bit of effort once in a while.
Yeah,
you don't want to know what it looks like behind there now.
That's fine. You know, I'm going to be changing the colour of the wall in a couple of weeks anyway because it's just a weird green. So I'm going for a different green because the wife doesn't like it.
Yeah, I don't blame her. It's not very nice.
It's kind of like Ghostbusters Slimer colour, which, you know, Ghostbusters fan growing up. But yeah, I'm not here to discuss Ghostbusters. That's a film for the summer again.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you're gonna, you know, stay on brand, a brighter 2 Minute Warning style green is definitely on the cards. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, go more like, you know, football field green or something like that.
Yeah. Just take a screenshot of the stream to wherever you're going, B&Q, home base or whatever, and go, here you go, I want one of these greens.
Yeah, I just do a colour match thing and, pay through the nose for 2 Minute Warning green. I'll have it plastered on the front of the tin.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Change that mirror up for a screen or something like that, and you'll be well away.
I know you can see that, in the mirror you can see the light outside, which is cool. It's still light, which is kind of pleasant for this time of year. Instead of dark and dingy in Wales, due storms tomorrow, so
I wouldn't know what the weather is. I'm sat in the dark. I don't even have the light on in this room anymore. I've got lights in front of me, lights behind me, and the main light is off, so it's pretty dark in here other than the green and the white illuminating my face. And I can't see the outside at all.
That's probably the best way to be honest.
It usually is the best way to go in this country when the weather is undoubtedly rubbish to maintain the family-friendly nature of this show.
Yeah.
Much as it's going to be difficult for me to keep it family-friendly as we progress through the draft and the news. But shall we crack on with that in that vein?
Well, that's what we're here for, right?
Apparently, yeah. I mean, you wouldn't tell from the first 3 minutes and a half of this this show, but
it's kind of like a news channel with the weather, isn't it? I think that's the way we've gone so far.
Wait, was the draft this week? What happened? Well, you've come to the right place.
You have.
We'll definitely be discussing the pick that you are most interested in. Your father, welcome in. But we start today with the biggest question going into the draft answered. Who would the San Francisco 49ers take at 3? Who did they deem worth the cost of trading up to that position and taking? The answer was North Dakota State quarterback Trey Lance. Was it the right choice? Was he worth the cost? I know you have a very strong opinion on this, so our first 2 minutes of the day goes to you. There we go.
So, don't get me wrong, Trey Lance, coming out of college, coming out of Dakota State, very good quarterback, has a pretty good record. I think in his last season that he played was 17-0, so undefeated. I rate him, but I don't rate him highly enough to give up 3 first-round picks and a third round pick going into next year's draft. To be honest, I don't see him even making an impact this season. I know they were talking about shipping Jimmy G back to New England, where he came from. So he's not going to go into the 49ers as QB1 this coming season. And I'm pretty sure most will agree, but then the 49ers fans are going to disagree and they're going to hate on me anyway. And I've got a couple of close friends that are 49ers fans, and they'll probably throw me abuse anyway. But hey, I'm here to be objective. I don't like the pick. They could have picked better, in my opinion. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see if it's a stupid move on their part, or maybe it's desperation from the front office at the 49ers. I mean, what did you think on it all? Have you got a little bit of insight to what the Trey Lance draft is all about?
It's much the same as I think about many of the kind of QB choices in this draft. Was it worth the amount that they paid for it? Remains to be seen. I mean, if he starts day one and lights it up and is the answer to the 49ers problems, then great. But I'm not sure they needed to trade all the way up to 3 to get him, personally. That's the question. I'm looking forward to finding out, to be honest. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing what they have. It was for the G-Men. Ha ha ha. Well, we'll get to that. We will get to that.
Yeah, we certainly will. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out for the 49ers and Trey Lance. But we move on to the next bit of the draft, what we're picking up, and with a young quarterback to protect, most expected the Cincinnati Bengals at number 5 overall in draft to draft Penei Sewell. But they instead opted to reunite Joe Burrow with wide receiver Jamar Chase. Was this a good move? Did they do enough in the rest of the draft to add security for Burrow? Jeremy, 2 minutes on the clock. Let's discuss.
On a personal level, I hate them for doing this because it allowed Penei Sewell to drop to the Lions at 7, and they don't need their quarterback protected. Don't need to be running into Penei Sewell twice a year. But anyway, I think it's a pretty bad move on the Bengals' part. Jamar Chase is fantastic. He will make an immediate impact for them. They don't really have any wide receivers. That's all well and good. But I think that there was such depth at wide receiver in this draft that you could have picked up any of the others, really, from the first 2 rounds of the draft, and you still would have been okay. It would have been enough for Joe Burrow to use as a target on offense. But the talent of Penei Sewell, or even if you'd have not gone Penei Sewell and you'd gone Rashawn Slater or whoever, any of the first round tackles, I think that would have been a much better move than going for the wide receiver. If Joe Burrow isn't protected, he ain't passing to anybody. And okay, they went and picked up Jackson Carman in the 2nd round, Deontay Smith in the 4th round, but they're unproven. You can pretty much hand on heart guarantee that Penei Sewell is going to come in and make an impact and do very well in this league. Can't say that for the others, so you may just have paid to have Joe Burrow tear the other ACL. What do you think?
Yeah, well, you know, I expected Chase to, and I mock drafted him myself to the Dolphins, who sat in 6th. Yes, he's talented, but Sewell would have been a better pickup. The draft this year, as I think we've spoken a little bit post-draft, has certainly been surprising for quite a few.
Yeah, you ran out of time then.
I did. I know. I'm going to beat that clock up now.
Remember, you do have a timeout if you wish to use it, but I assume you may have it earmarked for a topic coming later.
Well, hopefully, yeah, if I feel the need to pump it up on picks, yeah.
Yep. But aside from the draft, perhaps the biggest news of this weekend was not related to the draft in any way, shape or form. Late on Thursday night, ESPN insider Adam Schefter reported that Aaron Rodgers is so disgruntled with the Green Bay Packers that he has told some within the organisation that he does not want to return to the team. Management within the Packers have stated that there is zero chance of the quarterback being traded. So, what's next? Where can this go? What do we think of it? It's best you go first, because otherwise I'll just laugh for 2 minutes. Here we go.
I'm going to laugh too, because the guy needs to stop sulking and just take it, or take a full-time role in the Jeopardy studio to your Discuss Jez, because I know you're a fan of the show. Yes, he'll probably play next season coming, but whether it's in green, purple, black, blue, red, who knows? I don't care. And, I really don't care for sulking quarterbacks. I guess things have taken place outside of football since last season ended, for him taking that place on Jeopardy on TV. I know he does a lot of commercials in the States. So I don't know what's going on. But I did say when we first started the show and we were talking about, is he going to do something? I said, I can see him in purple. Is he going to go to the Vikings? I don't think so, but there are plenty of trade options for him if he wants to go. What do you think?
Your prediction may come true in the end. I don't think purple is where he's going to go, and it comes down to who's going to be the most stubborn here. And I think the most stubborn is going to be Aaron Rodgers, because he's got the money. There's no money direction it can go in. It's not going to be, all right, we'll pay you a bit more and you'll hang around. No, he's unhappy. He has major problems with the Packers GM. Apparently he is the problem. And so he doesn't want to come back. He doesn't feel that they have rallied around him in the last 10 years and drafted for him. And, well, that's what you get for being an elite quarterback. You don't get drafted for, because you're supposed to be able to do it all by yourself. So either do it by yourself or shut your mouth, Aaron Rodgers. I'm glad that you're getting out of the NFC North. Go somewhere else. Anywhere but Jeopardy. That's all I can say.
Anywhere but Jeopardy.
Anywhere but Jeopardy.
And that's the line of the night, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe it's the name of this episode.
Absolutely. Why not? But yeah, it keeps rolling with the great news and the good vibes for your Chicago Bears, as they traded up to 11 in the draft to pick up Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields. And yes, I know Jeremy's super excited about this, and he's not even spoken to me about it before tonight. The Bears gave up a lot to take the pick from the New York Giants. Was it worth it? I kind of know your answer. Did they do enough in the rest of the draft, however, to secure success for Fields? Jeremy, 2 minutes.
First of all, I was ready to punch you on Friday morning when I got up, because I'd forgotten to turn my phone on to no data so that nobody messaged me like I normally do for getting up and watching football-related stuff the next day. And there's a message from you that I barely look at because I'm like, oh, Matt's messaged me, I can't really read that. And it's just like, you're going to be so unhappy when you watch the draft. And I'm like, oh my God. That's such a spoiler. It's not a spoiler, but it's such a spoiler. And now I'm just stewing. And I'm sat there watching the first round of the draft going, I'm just counting down to the moment the Bears draft Mack Jones, and I'm going to throw something through the TV and it's going to be atrocious. I'm sat there watching. And then the 11th pick comes around and it's like, and the New York Giants have traded their pick to the Chicago Bears. I'm like, oh my God, here it comes. Oh my God. With the 11th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select... Okay, go on, say Mack Jones, I'll cry. Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State. And I literally leapt out of my seat and yelled and scared the bejesus out of my 3-year-old. She was like, stop shouting, Daddy. I'm like, sorry, Hannah, I'm excited. But yeah, I am excited about this. There is the risk that they gave up too much for him. The Bears hate having draft picks, apparently. This is the only year in ages that we've actually had any draft picks. And we've given up future years for it. I think they have done enough elsewhere to secure like some kind of help for him. Managing to get Tevin Jenkins in the second round was absolutely inspired. I think Tevin Jenkins dropped far, far too much. I'm going to call my timeout, by the way. And if Tevin Jenkins doesn't work out, then you've got Larry Borum, tackle from Missouri, that came later in the draft as well. So they're trying to bolster around him. There's talk that he's not going to start year one anyway. No, you are not too late. Very long name. You are just in time for the show. Come on in. Welcome. He's probably not going to start year one. I'm going to have to suffer a year of Andy Dalton while he kind of gets sorted behind him. So I fully expect Justin Fields to be starting week kind of 8, 9, 10, 11, something like that, when they've tried Andy Dalton and he's atrocious. They've tried Nick Foles and we know he's atrocious. And so the crowd that will have returned in their droves, and for the first time in ages, I've not seen Chicago Bears fans excited about something the Bears have done in a very long time. They are excited about Fields. Super excited, as I am. And so they'll be begging to put Fields in by week 7 after we're, 0-7 probably under Andy Dalton and Nick Foles. So I'm excited. The only thing about this kind of draft that I'm like, oh, really, was picking up Khalil Herbert, running back from Virginia Tech. We've got running backs. Yeah. We're fine at running back. Like, why are we picking up more running backs? We do this every year. We pick up another running back and then they supplant the starter that's just fine. So he's probably going to beat out David Montgomery, and we're going to trade David Montgomery for a cup of tea and a biscuit, and that'll be that. Doesn't make sense to me. So I've excitedly spoken for a long time. I've given you no time to speak whatsoever, but it's all good. Hey. You can return the favour on the next topic, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you're excited. What a couple of pickups for the Chicago Bears. Finally, some positive news that's come out of the off season.
Yeah, honestly, I was ready to give up on the Bears come 2 weeks ago, and I didn't think it was going to get better in the draft. But here we are.
You were going to become a Lions fan, weren't you?
No, I was not.
Or Green Bay, something like that.
Wait, is this a Bears Slappy podcast? No, this is just we discuss many things from around the NFL and other leagues. And this just happened to be the 2 minutes about the Bears pick that you came into. And I called my timeout, so it became 4 minutes. We are moving on to other teams. We are. I'm sorry you're a Lions fan. I can't do much about that. No. You're on your own there, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
But welcome anyway. Even Lions fans are welcome here. Packers fans, maybe not. Lions fans, sure, you can come in.
Why not? Yeah. Why not? It's a new viewer, right? I've not seen I don't recognise the name.
It is a new viewer, yes.
So welcome.
And the last of the quarterbacks expected to go in the first round finally went to the very patient New England Patriots at 15 when they selected Alabama quarterback Mack Jones. Is Mack the guy, or should they have been more aggressive in moving up to pick one of the other quarterbacks? The floor is yours.
So, spoken to plenty of New England Patriots fans around the globe, and we're a little bit of a mixed bunch about this guy. I'm not 100% convinced, but I'm willing to give the guy a chance. I mean, we're stuck with Cam Newton. I say stuck, and I use that term loosely because now he's had the full build-up. to the season, and he's got the practices in, and he knows the team, he knows the playbook. He's worked with Josh McDaniels, he's worked with Bill Belichick for a year. So Cam Newton might be okay. I'm not saying he's going to light the world on fire. I'm not saying that Jarrett Stidham, who's going to be QB2, is going to do the same. Brian Hoyer has gone, and Mack Jones is going to be QB3, and probably going to be put into the mix according to Bill and the coaching staff. So he's going to get his chance, and maybe, just maybe, he'll show the world what he's about. Yes, he has a different way of playing quarterback. Yes, he goes through progressions and probably 4 or 5 at a time. He's not quick off the mark. He's going to have to be quick off the mark in the NFL. He's going to have to take a couple of seconds, choose his options, and bomb it. He's got the potential. Will it be Brady-esque? I don't know. Maybe we see that build up. And yes, I will call my timeout on this because I want your opinion on all this. Because I know
really? Okay.
you're not. You know, I'm just being fair here, so I will call that timeout. But Mack Jones, I thought he'd have gone earlier. I'm surprised that he wasn't taken before. I know Bill was quite keen on him, although he played coy on it in the pro days. It made me laugh.
His face was disgusted.
I'm being polite here.
It's the greatest actor of all time.
Well, he's got an Oscar coming up, isn't he, next year? But yeah, I think what made me laugh most is, I hate Roger Goodell, but when Mack Jones' name was coming, when he came out and gave Roger a hug without a face mask on, with all the COVID going on, who knows? They could both catch COVID. He said, I secretly wanted to go to the New England Patriots. Don't tell anybody. We'll see. It's going to be interesting. Go on, slate Mack Jones to the Patriots.
Well, I'm going to slate Mack Jones because I'm on record saying that he's not a very good quarterback, and he's not a very good quarterback. Not for the NFL as it stands right now.
Yeah.
But if he is going to succeed in any team, it's the New England Patriots, because he's the type of quarterback that sits in the pocket. He can't escape from the pocket. The moment he tries to get out of the pocket, he gets sacked. He's eaten far too many pies. He cannot get outside the pocket. He's going to get nailed. But inside the pocket, he can do a lot of work. He's from the Nick Saban system, which is basically the Belichick system. He can sit in that pocket, dink it to the double tight ends, as your father says. You've finally built up that core of receivers. So if they manage Mack Jones properly, basically just shove him into the Brady offense, he'll probably do well. So he's terrible, but he'll work for you.
Yeah.
You managed to get Matt Castle to work. If you get Matt Castle to work, you can get anyone to work.
Wow.
We saw what happened to him when they tried to put him in a different system elsewhere.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Where's Matt Castle now?
Terrible is drafting Trey Lance 3 first rounder. Unfortunately, you've missed the Trey Lance conversation, Pico. That was right at the top of the show, because that's how drafts kind of work. They go in order.
Don't get us started on Trey Lance.
What I like best about the pick is not moving up for it, says your father. There is that. I thought, you're taking a big risk, but I guess you just read the teams and be like, well, they don't want him, they don't want him, they don't want him.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect pickup for you.
Yeah. Why
Very
not?
well done.
Yeah. Looking forward to seeing his number, because I know people who've pre-ordered Mack Jones jerseys, and he's on the New England Patriots shop as number 1, and that's Cam Newton at the moment. And what most people forget is, when they come out as first rounders,
they all hold one.
They all hold the one just with the team colours and their names at the top of the shirt. So there we go.
Yes, Justin Fields is number one. So you can expect to see me in a Justin Fields number one jersey by year's end.
Very nice.
That is happening.
Nice. Yeah, I think he'll look quite nice in Chicago colours, whether or not it's the home jersey or the switch jersey. So yeah, or maybe colour rush if they get onto that this year. So yeah, be nice.
Yeah. I think it's finally time I buy a white Bears jersey. I've got exclusively navy so far, so I think white could work with a number one on it. But anyway, we've digressed once again. Let's crack on with our next topic, shall we?
Absolutely.
Where are we? It is your topic to introduce.
Yes, it certainly is. So we look back at our own mock drafts, and we weren't too far away from the actual result. So we're going to take 2 minutes now to look back at our predictions that we made last week and discuss where things were spot on or completely off. Let's put 2 minutes on the clock. Let me know what you think.
So I think not too far off is slightly generous, but the biggest thing for me is the positional choices that were made. Okay, a lot of teams went with different players, but they went with the correct kind of positions. In my own mock draft, I got 12 of the positions right. Not a hugely great ratio out of 32, but still fine, still pretty good. 6 players spot on in both my draft and our joint 2-minute warning draft that we did. It's not too bad. I think there were lots that really couldn't be predicted and some bonehead moves that really shouldn't have happened, such as the Bengals not taking Penei Sewell, as we discussed. The 8th pick, I'm certain, should have been Surtain. The idea that they didn't go Surtain as the best available corner blows my mind. The Panthers cocked up there as far as I'm concerned. Others may disagree. I'm particularly happy with the Micah Parsons to Cowboys pick. Again, both drafts we had that.
Yeah.
And also the Najee Harris that I bulled through and made sure that we did to the Steelers, because it's just a perfect fit. And I love that guy. I can't wait to see him play in Pittsburgh. What do you think?
Yeah, so going through my mock draft earlier, so I had 6 spot on too, but I'm not too sure on the positions because it's just all higgledy-piggledy with me writing out in pen and putting it on paper. I guess 8 or 9 if teams hadn't have, done their thing and traded up, but that's just an oversight, and that's typical in the draft. Happy I got Pitts and I got Phillips to where they fell, and I guess that. So yeah.
And there were some surprises that some people that dropped straight out of the first round, like Trevor Moehrig, really shocked he didn't go first round, and Tevin Jenkins we've discussed, really shocked he didn't go first round. But there you go.
Yeah, certainly
this is why we do it.
Certainly some shockers. Well, I don't know if it's shockers or it's just I guess it's when it comes to a team and what they want, it all happens on the night or the nights as it is. 2-3 evenings. It's a long haul for some teams if they've got multiple picks in multiple rounds. So it could be a long haul.
I like my pick of the Bears, says Duff. Well, it wasn't wholly correct. You thought they'd trade up a lot further and to get Mack Jones. So it wasn't wholly correct. But kudos for thinking that they would be aggressive. I didn't have faith that they would be aggressive. I thought they'd just sit there at 20 and wait and see what comes up. So
yeah, well, interestingly, I don't know, we're digressing here, but in regards to Duff saying that, I had the Bears potentially trading up to 7 and taking Trey Lance.
and it just
But,
came down
yeah.
to the 49ers was that first domino.
Yes, yeah.
And we were always
yeah.
waiting to know who the 49ers went with.
Yeah.
Like, imagine how different the draft would have been if they'd have gone Mack Jones like we and everybody else predicted.
Well, yes, absolutely.
Would have been crazy. Okay, next topic, and you in the chat can join in on this as well. The draft grades are flying already across the analysts, and we're all looking back and trying to determine who had the best draft. We're making it a bit more simple. We just want the one team. Which team won the draft and why? Let us know in the chat. You're going to let us know on stream first. Here are 2 minutes to kick us off.
Yeah, so this topic really hurts me and like puts an arrow through my heart because I'm swinging in the way of a majority of media outlets that I've looked at today and yesterday, and they, unfortunately for me, go with another AFC East team, and that's the New York Jets. I'm going to just go boo. If I had a sound effect on my keyboard, I'd be pressing the boo button because they suck. And I'm just going to get that in there because the Jets suck. But they're building something around the draft picks they made last year, the free agency pickups, and the new draft picks they've made this year, including Zach Wilson at quarterback. He looked pretty solid and he could produce some sort of magic for them, or it could all end in tears for them. And yeah, they're a dumpster fire anyway. I'm just being I'm not even going to be objective here. Yeah, Jets. Yeah, okay. Lots of people will agree with that. But what do you think? I know you're going to disagree.
The Jets were fine. I think it's hard to mess up with the amount of picks that they had.
Yeah.
But my pick is kind of the same kind of idea. A lot of picks, hard to mess it up. I think the Jaguars had the best draft.
Yeah.
It's hard to mess up first overall, especially when you've got Trevor Lawrence at the top of the draft.
Yeah.
But I think drafting his teammate in Travis Etienne was an inspired move. It's great to have teammates together from college because you're already slightly comfortable with the offense that's happening. Tyson Campbell at corner, Walker Little at tackle. They grabbed those in the second round. I think that's great value. And they just kept plugging and picking up the best available. They had a lot of needs, so they could just pick up whoever was best available. 9 picks they made in total, which is their investments of the last few years paying off. I think they did really well.
Yeah.
Yolfather says Miami. Miami had a good draft. Yeah.
It did.
The fans, says Rooster, is that our team? It was a particularly good draft.
Yeah.
We did touch on it before we went live, how much we enjoyed this draft more so than others. I don't know whether that's because we were more engaged than usual. I don't feel like there's been a draft this entertaining since whatever year Matt Ryan was drafted. The Jake Long first overall and then Matt Ryan third to the Falcons year. I want to say 2007, 2008, somewhere around there. That was a good draft. So much intrigue, so much excitement. The Bears did something good. That never happens. The Patriots have to go and rebuild their team. That never happens. You know, there are so many stories underlying this. The Aaron Rodgers stuff overarching it. The Packers still deciding to draft a bunch of randos and reach for players. The person they drafted, honestly, I'm going to get to that in a moment, but yeah.
Ouch.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was a good draft, and like you said, for me, it's the first that I've properly engaged with. Being part of 2 Minute Warning has brought my interest to a peak with it. So yeah, it was really fascinating for me waking up Friday morning and having a good old look through who had been drafted that early hours of the morning in the UK. So yes, but
Yes.
we'll,
Before we crack on, just one more thought about the last topic. Duff said Falcons, good bunch all round, really. Yeah, I think making the correct pick at 4 and getting Pitts, that's the start of an excellent run. You could have not picked anybody else and just making that correct decision.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts was the top of the bunch, wasn't he? That wasn't that QB core. So good pick by the Falcons. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for those thoughts. Yeah, it's interesting because I quite like the back and forth with the chat tonight. It's been very active, which is good for me and you.
They can definitely join in on the next topic as well. Definite opinions to come out of them as well. Let's crack on there.
Yes, absolutely. So with all the talk of teams that have done well, I guess it's our job to discuss the teams that have failed in the draft and reached too far to draft certain players. Who really didn't get this right, in your opinion, Jez? We're going to put 2 minutes on the clock. Guys in the chat, join in if you want to. Let us know your thoughts. Let's go.
I alluded to it already. I may be biased as a Bears fan, but it's the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
The reach that they did for Eric Stokes at 29, when there were far better corners available or far better players for their team needs available. I just feel like somebody in the Packers was like, let's just go and draft somebody random that's a defensive player, because that'll really piss Aaron Rodgers off, won't it? Let's go do that. Such a reach. I wasn't a fan of that pick at all, even though I have no love for the Packers. Then in the second round, they went for a centre. Fine. I suggested in my draft they should be going for a centre. Or a tackle. It's a position of need on the offensive line. Creed Humphrey was available at 62, and they went Josh Myers instead. Humphrey is the better player. If it wasn't for the fact that he's a centre, he would have been a first-round pick.
Yeah.
Dropped that far. They really had the opportunity to get somebody good, and they went with him instead. You messed it up. You could have appeased crybaby Rod Gers, but you messed up. You'd love to see it.
Absolutely. I'll agree with you. The Packers absolutely sucked in this year's draft. Did Rodgers sabotage their war room? Maybe. There's so many issues going on into preseason with them, and they're going to have to sort it out pretty sharpish. If it seems like one must die for the other to survive in that situation. Who will stand the test of this almost power struggle? We're going to have to see that play out. No quarterback has ever played 17 seasons in Green Bay, but good luck finding a team winning G-Pants Rodgers. I say futter whacking to you and let the cheesehead celebrate.
That almost sounded like a not very family-friendly word there. I don't know what that means, but
it's not a swear. It's fine.
Duff says, I think the Saints had a pretty terrible draft. Yeah, they really did. And they've added another quarterback to that already muddied kind of room. Not sure he survives training camp unless he lights it up. We'll see.
No.
And the Raiders were as oddball as ever, he adds. Yeah. I think they went with Leatherwood in the first round, didn't they? Is it Leatherwood? Leatherhead? Something?
Alex Leatherwood, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was a reach too.
And
that just started the reaching. And it's funny that the Raiders are still terrible at drafting, considering their general manager is Mike Mayock, who was, apart from Mel Kiper, the king of the draft.
Yes.
You had Mel Kiper on ESPN, and then you had Mike Mayock on the NFL Network, and it was a fight to the death between them every year, and they were both equally good. So, It's weird that now that it's his job, it's his actual job rather than just talking about it. He can't do it properly.
Yeah. Go. I'm going to digress a little bit here because I know we're sort of shocker. Absolutely, why not? But just out of interest, who do you really think was the pick of the draft, and not being biased towards sort of the Bears and that? Who do you think was the best person to come out of the draft? And I kind of think gonna say quarterback, so I'm gonna rule out quarterbacks too.
Yeah, I mean, if you rule out quarterbacks, that does make it a bigger discussion, because obviously the best pick was the first overall pick, and the Jaguars, the Jaguars not taking some kind of massive zig and not getting Trevor Lawrence. So picking Trevor Lawrence, as you should have done, was the best pick, but not quarterback wise. And again, ignoring that the Falcons should have picked up Kyle Pitts at 4, and they did pick up Kyle Pitts at 4. Yeah. So ignoring people doing what they're supposed to do, I think it's Micah Parsons to the Cowboys.
Yeah,
I think that just fits their style of defense when they actually play defense, not like they did last year. But he just fits into that kind of Cowboys mentality, that team really well. I think that was probably certainly in the first round, the most on it pick that was made when they could have gone in other directions for other needs. And I'm not just saying that because I predicted it and we predicted it.
We certainly did, didn't we? That was one we agreed on. I think that's I think I will agree with you. I think getting Parsons is certainly a very good pickup for the Cowboys. Yeah, and I think Cowboys fans rejoice. You might do something productive. We'll see.
I really doubt you're as bad on defense next year this year as you were last.
Yeah. Well, he should fit straight in, right? I mean, they say a lot of the defensive players are pro ready, so we'll see if he slots straight into that defensive line.
I think with the Cowboys, it's the first time in history that a team has taken 7 defensive players to start a draft. They went all in on defense, and they had to. We said that they should previously. Mm-hmm. I would say I'm glad they listened, but I don't care for the Cowboys either way. So
no. Yeah, it's going to be interesting also to see who these undrafted rookies are and who picks them up as well. So yeah, that's going to be a rolling theme in the next couple of weeks and months with that build up to preseason in August. So yeah, we're not too far away from football again because we're May now and August isn't too far away. So here we go on the proper road to football.
Absolutely, yes. So shall we close things out? We'll say hello to Always Be Chatting. Welcome in.
Yes, hello.
And Duff's question: did you see the Eagles' reaction for their third pick? I mean, the Eagles and the Jets will always be upset about something. They're fans.
Yes. Yeah.
The thing that struck me the most about fan reaction is that in the first round, as Roger Goodell showed everybody on that little chair the pick, not one of them reacted positively, negatively. Like, they literally put a card in their face. Here's who you're picking. Isn't this exciting? And they're just like, guys, show some enthusiasm, honestly.
Yeah, I have seen the Eagles' reaction with I think it was the general manager going around fist bumping everybody, really super excited, and everyone was just like,
I didn't see it. I thought you meant of the crowd people that were there. No, I haven't. I must have not been paying attention at that point.
In the draft room, I might be wrong, Duff, but I have seen the draft room reaction on social media.
Yeah, do put a link in the Discord, which is an excellent segue. To throw out our Discord, the Primetime Streaming Network Discord. And actually, before we do our last topic, let's just see what's coming up on the Primetime Streamer Network tomorrow, as we are chatting about the Primetime Streamer Network.
Yep.
It begins at 6:30 British Standard Time, British Summer Time, with It Takes Two from Mama S and her collaboration with Any Button Gaming. At 8 p.m, I'm back with some more The Last of Us. It's been a few weeks since I played The Last of Us. Probably still terrible at it, but if you like to hear a grown man swear and get annoyed when he dies 100 times, I'm your guy. And then closing out the night, as he will be very shortly, actually, Rooster Beast is playing Rocksmith on his bass guitar. A bit late in UK time, 1 a.m. BST, 8 p.m. Eastern in the States. So if you are about at that time, definitely go and drop in on Rooster. He's a dude. Right.
Certainly is.
Our last topic of the day is what has become a tradition for us. We laid it off for a few weeks as we got ready for the draft, but it's start, bench, cut, if I can say it. And with Mack Jones now under centre for the New England Patriots, I'd like you to rate his targets as they stand at wide receiver and decide who you will start, bench and cut from Nelson Agholor, Kendrick Bourne and Jacoby Myers. Here are your 2 minutes once I get back to the correct page. Here we go.
So yeah, it's a really good question. It's going to be interesting because Agholor and Bourne have come in as free agents pre-draft. Jacoby Myers already a standing member of the receiver corps in New England, but you've kind of made it easy for me because I don't know two of the three. But I'm going to go against the grain here, as I traditionally do, and I'm going to throw a spanner in the works. And the guys in the chat will probably disagree with me, especially if they know of the players from their previous teams, if they know the New England Patriots or Patriots fans. But I'm going to say Kendrick Bourne is going to be my starter. I'm excited to see the guy play, and I've seen a couple of clips of him playing, and I know he's quite excited about being a Patriot, and wants to bring a lot of energy. Agholor is next, very good at also. He'd be my backup on the bench. He's from what I can understand, he's a little bit older, so yeah, it brings experience to the team. And Jacoby Myers, unfortunately, Jacoby, if I was the head coach or the general manager, I'd be like, yeet out. I cut you because he's not really made an impact at receiver from what I've seen of him in the last couple of years. I know he's been in the shadow of Edelman. Edelman's gone, so maybe Myers steps up. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm looking forward to having the options. I'm excited to see the new receivers coming in. I'm excited to see Mack Jones. You're not his biggest fan, but let's go Mack Jones. Let's go Patriots.
Apart from the "Let's go Patriots" kind of thing, I slightly agree with you. I'm excited to see these three receivers, because two of the three, Nelson Agholor and Kendrick Bourne, I think deserved a better shake than they've got previously. Yeah. Especially Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah.
Jacoby Myers did well last year. He'll probably continue to do so this year. So yeah, good analysis.
Yeah,
you can return the favour to me next week with some kind of wacky topic.
I certainly will. And I'll spend my hour on it that I usually do on a Sunday. Hey, it's Bank Holiday Monday tomorrow, so maybe I'll nudge you and say, "Come on, let's go for next week." Why not? And you'll be like, "Nah."
Yeah, no.
Just leave me alone. It's Bank Holiday.
I'll do my notes on Saturday at the earliest, as is the tradition.
Yes, absolutely.
But, you feel free to crack on if you want to go for it.
Well, yeah.
The notes are there. You go for it.
I'll just rename the show and all sorts, Why not?
So, that is our show for the week. Many, many digressions tonight, but wouldn't really have it any other way. We are back next week with the latest news, hopefully some more information about this Aaron Rodgers thing. We'll discuss some other picks going forward, and we're going to start eventually cracking into league year predictions. Do some now, do some just before the season starts, see what changes. There's going to be lots of twists and turns coming into the training camps, such as they will be, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, and we're not far off league schedules either.
That's true. 21st, I think that drops.
Well, I think what I saw today is some are going to be released on the 12th, so we're only 10 days out.
Maybe it is the 12th. Maybe I've just switched the numbers round.
Switched the numbers, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like me. Yeah.
Why
there we
not?
go. So we'll definitely have discussions about when these games happen, because we already know who the games are. We might finally find out what the London game is for this year.
Wow, fingers crossed, yeah. Fingers crossed.
So, we're going to go and raid a gent playing Madden. It looks like he's having a good time. So, he's doing a bit of chat, doing a bit of Madden. So, drop in, throw out your emotes, let them know where you've come from, and we will return next week for 2 Minute Warning. I've been Jez. That's been Matt. Say goodbye, Matt.
Goodbye, Matt.
Still love that. Doesn't get old.
No.
Bye.